Welcome back, everyone, here to the North American NALCS. We've got Game 2 coming up really shortly with Team Envy taking on Cloud9. Game 1, Cloud9 took the win without even dropping a single kill. Just over 30 minutes. Everyone has 0 deaths in the column. We talked about some guys' stats, though. Jensen, 6 kills, 5 assists, and Cassiopeia,
absolutely insane.
bringing that one, did wonderfully for himself. Meteos, player of the game, 2 kills, 10 assists. Part of, obviously, almost every single kill on his team, but
yeah.
Played so well, got first blood, got the top lane ruling as well, was the catalyst that got his team ahead.
Exactly, and it's what put the NV composition behind, which is the big thing for me, because it shut down both solo laners. It gave Shen and Cassiopeia advantages, and I mean, he only missed out on 1 kill in the entire game. His kill participation so high, and it definitely justifies the first pick Rek'Sai there for that team.
Yeah, it worked out so well for them. So props to these guys. And you mentioned the NV draft where, you know, and Mark said it on the analyst desk as well, if that team got behind, all they were was a team comp saying we're a ball of stats. Yeah. If our stats are higher than yours, you can't kill us. If they're lower than yours, we don't have playmaking to knock you down. And the Braum last pick instead of like an Alistar, even putting the Karma mid instead of support and taking a different playmaking mid laner, it felt like there were no tools for Envy to get back into the game once they were behind, and they just eventually rolled over.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing for me, because the safer bet with the composition is take the Karma that you picked early on, throw it on the support, and then you last pick, because they last picked their Braum, you last pick something that you want to play into Cassiopeia, because that's that new pick that's emerging right now. Froggen's playing it over on the other stream, and I think this is a champion that since Keen played it, everybody's like, that's it. That's the new pick that's going to be really OP mid lane. I mean, what are you going to play into it right now? Right? I think it's good into Azir. I think they both want to scale, and when they get to that point, it's just both of them are incredibly powerful.
Definitely agree, and we'll see how that changes things in picks and bans. Of course, Bunny Fufu in the squad as well should change things up maybe a little bit. And I want to talk about something else. As Seraph has proved himself, of course, as a great top laner. He believes there's actually a lot still that he can learn from his opponent Impact.
My think about Impact is he was world champions, and so far he's so good. He always like, I want to become him, like, because I want to copy his style, like his roaming timing, his champion pool. So he's kind of like my motivation. So I want to like jump over him.
Well, sadly, in that game, it was him getting sort of jumped on by the Rek'Sai and just having no chance to win any of those
through.
fights. Right, like we saw Proxen out-farm Meteos, but the 2 early ganks that Meteos got off in the first 6 minutes just kind of tilted everything away from him. So, you know, that was sort of the jungle matchup more than the top lane matchup. Seraph was a bit behind, but holding up. And then eventually, look, Swain just is not a great champion behind if you don't have that full Zhonya's. And, well, he went tier Roa, which meant there was no Zhonya's, so he didn't have the comeback tools at all. And you can argue the build being maybe a little bit suboptimal, but either way, the ganks paid out and it went pretty well. So here we go into picks and bans once again, as Game 2 is Envy's hope to tie up the series, where Cloud9 could have their second 2-0 victory so far in the North American LCS Summer Split. As the same bans are coming through, no Lysandra for Envy.
I think you last banned Cassio here. The bans for Envy last time were Azir, Ryze, Vladimir. And since Vladimir is a red side ban, you can pick up Cassio ban here, unless you're going to first pick it and you have it up your sleeves as well.
See what that choice ends up being. The final ban is actually towards Impact's Shen. Well, if Nita's willing to play Cassiopeia himself, and that's a nice thing to have, of course. They had done Karma earlier. Final ban is still Trundle, so the top lane ban's kind of staying a little bit similar here.
It's only Nidalee traded out for Shen when everything's all said and done.
Right. Okay, we'll see what it ends up being. What was the ban that Envy dropped? Oh no, Vladimir went over. Right.
Vladimir went over. They picked up Shen.
So right, and the rest of the bans are the same. Exactly. Okay, that makes sense here. So
yeah,
Nidalee was a champion that C9 no longer had to ban here, and Shen was the ban added by Envy as a result. And now Nidalee is up, but so is that Cassiopeia.
And so is the Rek'Sai that Meteos had such a great performance on.
Right. And Karma, another early pickable champion.
Yeah,
so.
Since it's Bunny Fufu, and he hasn't played as much Karma, you don't really have to pick it that early on. I believe Bunny Fufu's played like 6 Bard, 2 Braum, and 1 Thresh.
Well, you can see as Rek'Sai comes through as the first pick, Nidalee on the table doesn't even matter. Proxen wants to play the more tank jungle style champion there. And now with Shen and Trundle both off the table, Impact will have to play something a little bit different for himself. He's done Maokai before. Other options, of course, as well, but for Fizz got some nerfs in 6.12 as well as the Fervor change, which is mostly a nerf for Fizz himself. It means he's got to either play Maokai or something like Gragas or something new. There's actually not a lot of things that Impact has played so far this split.
You see the discussion there. Both teams actually having former Korean coaches from the LCK.
Right.
With Miracle and Reaper both.
The question is, do they think Cassiopeia is contested or even that high of a value as a champion?
They picked it blind last time as well.
Semi-blind, I guess, with the Karma known as a possible pick. And either way, it is going to be the Aurelia. Jax would be up for Seraph if he wants to counterpick it there. Elise also for Meteos, so Nidalee left completely on the table. And new jungle coming out here on the red side is have the Elise coming through. But again, it's Cloud9 hoping to counterpick their lanes. They don't need to pick a jungler here. They chose to hide everything else.
So they want to hide what other things they have. They see the top lane pick. You can counter that. You can pick a priority support for yourself. Take away something from Bunny Fufu. And I think that's the route that you want to go with. Hover onto the Hecarim, though. I mean, Hecarim has been making an emergence in pro play every here and there.
I guess if it's good against Aurelia, I don't know the matchup, but that's going to be locked in, actually. So unless Ninja is doing his best Keen cosplay, Seraph will be playing Hecarim up in the top lane alongside a Braum in the bot. So 3 tanks here for Envy. He's got to get a lot of damage out of a lot of Ninja now.
Yeah, that top lane Hecarim, he's most likely going to take Ghost. People used to take Ignite, but Ghost is just so powerful now. The lower cooldown on it is incredibly good. The fact that it scales now in the movement speed allows him to get even more damage from his Warpath passive.
Right, so a lot of power here to be had.
And, I mean, this is the guy that brought out Renekton like 2 weeks ago. So Seraph is not afraid to explore these matchups, to try things, and if the Hecarim is something that he feels comfortable playing into the Aurelia, then I'm really interested to see how this goes up against Impact, the guy that he just said this is motivation to do better, and he wants to jump over him.
Okay, well, he's going to hope to do that right now on that Hecarim. Certainly he's got some hops there himself. Picks come through, Thresh and Ashe coming in, so Bunny Fufu playing one of his very, very best champions. Sneaking back on the utility, what he was heavily known for actually back in 2013, 2014.
The Ashe Zyra lane way back when they were incredibly innovative on Cloud9. Going back to it, back in the meta, and Bunny Fufu playing the Thresh. Nobody else is really touching this champion right now. He's played 1 game of Thresh, absolutely dominant against the CLG bottom lane. Kobe still talks about how awesome that game was in the bot lane to this day.
To this day. It was definitely very good. So now it's time for Envy to lock in the rest of their lineup. They have saved their AD carry, and we presume mid laner for last. Cloud9 did save their mid lane pick for last as well, so it's still going to be a counter pick on whatever Ninja chooses to play. Vlad knows he's got a Braum, and he's against Ashe Thresh. Ooh, mid Ezreal going to be the lock in here. Interesting, unless that was a miscommunication, which I doubt highly it would be. Mid Ezreal have not seen any of in several months here. Ninja going to bring in the Ezreal against a blind pick mid lane. Well, double marksman, but it's a very physical, heavy damage team now. Even Hecarim will do some with his Trinity Force or Iceborne Gauntlet, but it's all physical.
Yeah, it's all physical damage here for this team. They don't really have a dedicated tank, though. At least goes kind of semi-tank, but not so much in the resistance path. You're mostly looking at a lot of HP with Rylai's and the likes. But the Ezreal, incredibly interested here, because he gets to take Exhaust in the mid lane if he wants, and he gets to go up against a Cassiopeia, have a little bit of a dominant laning phase for himself against most mid laners. I assume it's a Cassiopeia. It worked so well. Why change it? You have the engage.
I can't imagine it's a bad match.
You have a Lantern for her, too?
Yeah, so Cassiopeia is not as gankable by Rek'Sai as Ezreal. There's no supporting crowd control to really bring through in that mid laner, so Rek'Sai gets the knock up, and then Jensen probably flashes away and stays alive, and maybe you get the repeat gank, but I feel like this Cassiopeia is going to be fairly untouched, to be completely honest here. We'll see if he's able to get anything done on this one, though. A good mix of damage. I expect to see a Frozen Heart very early out of Impact, and after that happens, I feel like life will be hard. Gonna check Ninja's runes and masteries to make sure he's not doing anything too fancy. Looks like it's all attack damage for battle, etc. So yeah, attack damage Ezreal going to be the build. No really big surprise there, but there was always that small chance he went for the AP one.
Yeah, I think he just was kind of tired of that matchup he had where he didn't really have an escape. He's like, I need something to get out. So not going to be as easily ganked right now. Able to dodge Ashe arrows a little bit easier with the basic ability. And now he'll be able to take that exhaust and use it up against Jensen, maybe even 1v1 him. We'll see. Cassiopeia is incredibly potent.
Yeah. And we'll see if he's able to do that. The coaches shake hands and walk off stage as they are ready to go and get themselves into Game 2 of this series. And if you want to weigh in, let us know who it's going to be to take this game here. Tweet at LLE Sports, hashtag NVWin, hashtag C9Win for which squad it's going to be. Cloud9 looking to take over Envy in the standings and place above them at 5-2. But Envy could make this a win and have their 6th match here in the North American LCS. Well, they've got to get themselves into Game 2 at the very least, because Cloud9 with a dominant Game 1 win could close out the series over the newcomers in Team Envy. But if you want a Game 3, let's see those hashtag NV wins as we're into Game 2.
Vote heavily in favor of Cloud9 last game to 84%. So Envy still kind of underdogs for a lot of the fans.
Sure. I mean, you got to figure Cloud9, one of the very most popular clubs here.
Rather
in NA.
established, yeah.
Yeah, came out to the scene, explosive, great personalities. Meteos back in the lineup, I think, does a lot for their fans as well. He's definitely one of the most beloved players in that lineup. And the fact that he came back and was still a top performer.
Yeah,
I was honestly so concerned about Meteos even being good at all. And he's actually one of the very best junglers still in North America, which, I love to see. I like when players are successful.
Yeah, even without the awesome hair.
The flash to land it all. He's going to stand. No, he doesn't quite shot it. But the ignite. Yeah, it means Summoner Heal has to come through. Sneaky survives it. Sadly for Hakuho, he couldn't quite stand all the way in the lantern. I guess Sneaky found the place to click.
Oh. Laud could have been kind of sneaky too and threw down his ward on the lantern. I mean, that's that old trick.
Sure, yeah.
It doesn't work as well anymore. It's been kind of tweaked, but still. Honestly, nice escape there, but here's what happens after everything's all said and done. You got the heal, you blew both flash and ignite from Hakuho, but you made Bunny Fufu level lantern first.
Right. And normally won't do that till level 3, so he's got no gank assist, and he's got
His
really
lane
no lane
presence
pressure.
exactly. His lane presence is very low.
It even hurts the Gromp start a little bit, which normally you'd want a hook or a play to make that go a little bit better. We'll see if Envy goes for just a small Krug or both. Looks like they will go both, and Cloud9 will take a very slow road to taking down this Gromp.
Throw down the lantern for a little bit of a shield, I guess.
Might as well. It's something. As Lod takes both of the hits on that Krug, Sneaky will finally finish off the Gromp. He's about 4 seconds later. And we'll see if they miss any of the experience. That answer is a bit of a yes. Lod got full XP. Sneaky did actually as well. So they both hit level 2. None of them missed experience. Envy, though, got one more minion kill, so they're up 20 gold.
I mean, right now you could really just go aggressive if you're Envy. Bunny Fufu has Lantern, right?
Yeah, and Lod has QE, so if you land
exactly.
if you land it, you're in.
Yeah, I thought he was going to just throw that Q at Bunny, but he threw it at Sneaky. He's Aerith, though.
Wow, really doing battle with Impact. But Impact getting the better of him right now as level 2 finally comes through. The difficulty, though, is that Hakuho is only level 2. And, ooh, nice lantern. Autodeck's going to land. They're going to get the stun. Not enough follow-through damage, but as I was saying, Hakuho without summoners means if he is caught out, he's permaslowed by Ashe and dies.
Yeah. So, doesn't want to be aggressive here, but honestly, Meteos' path does put him on a course to come around to this bottom lane rather early on. So Proxen has to play to this bottom side. Meteos is also going to pass this before the Scuttle Crab dies and gets to that point, but oh wait!
He says, hey, Scuttle's missing.
What's up?
He took it down. So they know where the Rek'Sai is. It's to the left of him. Proxen says hello, gets Cocoon. A lot of damage coming through, but they're going to trade blows back and forth. Ninja's going to be first to arrive.
Ninja's there first,
Meteos running back in. Exhaust is on. He can just go down. Repels up. Thankfully for him, the Wolves are in there. But Proxen's going to look for a little bit more. Nowhere for Meteos to go. First blood comes through. Ninja gets the blue buff.
That was really well done by Proxen because he held on to his last auto there and said, Ninja, let's get you this blue and red. Let's have you dominate Jensen. Last game, complete opposite, where the gank came out early onto Ninja and put him way far behind.
Ninja with a lot of lane priority as well. He was there well before Jensen ever was.
Yeah. We was able to see him first with the Tremor Sense, and so he's able to play to the side. And then the Arcane Shift in level 3 gets him over that wall. So then he gets to put the exhaust down, the flash, and then the chase.
Turned around for some of that. He never even tried to fight Ninja. Didn't cast a single skill.
Yeah, because Hakuho ended up coming in from the backside, so he would have had to possibly blow his own flash after the Braum turn, so...
But, I mean, that's the thing, like,
it's back and forth.
Bunny could have shown up, he's closer. Jensu could have shown up, he was closer. Like, Cloud9 didn't collapse nearly as well as Envy. And, I mean, again, just, like, props to them. Proxen got Ninja to show up, but he got Hakuho to show up as well. And it's a multilingual team who is coordinating better than Cloud9.
Yeah, Hakuho is going to get there a little bit faster because of the Scuttle Crab.
I suppose that helps a bit.
Going to give him a cross a little bit more. But
Door
yeah,
blocks the arrows.
it basically comes down to a game of seconds and half seconds at that
Sure.
point.
Nice double piercing light. A little bit of an attack, a nice volley there. The play in, and Lod
he doesn't have
injured.
flash.
But this hook onto Hakuho means a lot of damage. Doesn't have the door to hold right now, and takes a lot of punishment. Another nice piercing light across the bow. Sneaky low on HP. You can see +8 minions right now for Lod, and his Lantern Start Thresh certainly hurting.
Yeah, I do think that Sneaky...
And they might just kill
Whoop.
Sneaky. He's gonna jump away, forces the flash. Oh, that hook was sick though. Onto Lod, can they kill him? The answer is yes, he burns down. And now the battle into Hakuho, 200 HP left on him, has flash. The flay is there, the heal,
OTP.
the movement speed. They've got to get away from that one. Hakuho survives, and now who shows up but Seraph to kill off Sneaky. Yes, he takes him out. 2-1 for Envy, a 1-1 in the bot lane.
Yeah, and a kill going over to Seraph, though, in the top lane on this Hecarim. That's going to tilt this matchup just a little bit. His Ghost, honestly, that's kind of a chump change cooldown right now. It's only 2 minutes. We're going to see Lod. I mean, they're just getting harassed here, back and forth. Sneaky doesn't have too much mana, but he already has the stacks of his passive. He's able to actually get 5. They engage, they throw it out, flashes, and then the hook onto Lod. The auto. Oh, the Thunderlord's there, too.
You know what's funny is the whole time Hakuho had 1 stack of Relic Shield that he barely almost got to use on time.
Yeah.
He actually missed an auto on a minion before the all-in happened. That actually would have saved the Lucian. And then a great teleport at the end, of course.
Yep. A little bit sooner. It's just that second sooner.
Yeah.
And
of
the
course-
Ghost for the extra damage.
And Seraph was more injured than Impact was, so it was a slow, not a stun, which gave him that last auto attack. A little mechanics actually coming in importantly here.
Yeah. And honestly, Bunny Fufu with the Thunderlords actually came up huge there.
Sure. 30-something extra damage, definitely relevant in that case. A nice spear
Oh.
across, but
Yeah.
not enough to kill Impact. Knew the E was down, was able to tower dive for a couple of seconds longer.
Yeah.
Proxen knows Needius is here.
It looked like he wanted to get the Fear through and then Devastating Charge back, but got him a little bit too short and just hit him off to the side.
Medios does not know that he's spotted, but Seraph knows completely that Elise is hiding behind this turret right now.
Impact has stun, too, so...
Well, there's the stun coming through. Seraph low on mana, but look at that. He just charges away. He knows to play defensively enough. Yeah, a lot of damage from Impact. He played that well. But, you know, Seraph wastes Medios' time. They push on the wave. No teleport for either means he will lose some of these minions, but it's not going to be too bad for this Hecarim.
Yeah, and they're going to continue to push in on that top side.
That's the right play.
And the question is, what does Proxen do with the knowledge that he knows where Meteos is? I don't think he's going to be able to accomplish anything at this moment.
Not take anything away. He would have the blue buff timer at this point. Everyone gets it now. Like, it's not up for him yet.
Honestly, bot lane should be communicating with Proxen that the flashes are down, because he has flash on Burrow.
Yeah, that's like almost instant pop on Bunny Fufu, honestly. You can layer that CC pretty easily. There is really good ward coverage, though. You look at the amount of red dots in that bottom right side. There's one in Tribush, there's one in the river. There's actually no entrance.
I still
Even the
think
Scuttle's
I
dead.
still think you can go through lane for that.
Okay, okay, I feel
As
you.
long as Hakuho gets a Q, or even just walks up and gets Bunny Fufu, or tag on him.
You just tunnel forward, flash and burrow,
Yeah.
chain the CC. Okay, I see that. Yeah, you're right. I think they probably could have forced it.
There are ways to force it, but they're just not being aggressive with it. They're not taking that chance. And that's kind of Envy, right? Envy is a slow
Yeah.
team that likes to kind of let their waves kind of mount up and get a little bit more advantage here, a little bit more advantage there, and bide their time. And speaking of that, this mid lane, Ninja has an advantage in it from that early kill. He used the double buffs, has 10 CS up right now over Jensen's Cassio.
Okay, another
And
try.
now he comes all the way around. He was not spotted here, I believe.
Waited out the ward. Nice flash on Burrow on a Sneaky, but he gets the lander before the stun can land.
Oh, true
As
shot!
you'll see, it's not going to do enough to kill him.
But it is going to stop him.
All right, well, 5 seconds lost means maybe part of that wave. Still, Summoner's used up for that one. Sneaky just takes a lantern, gets away. It was close, certainly, but not quite enough done there, and Proxen was unable to get the kill. Impact once again in a battle with Seraph, and you can see that he has to kite away with defense style on. But now actually Impact get the kill. One more Q would take him down, but it's down for 6 more seconds. I don't know why Impact flashed.
Yeah, he had an E in like half a second.
That's not going to kill him,
He
though.
was
It's a
try-
rank 1 slow.
I know, he was trying to get the slowdown, and now Meteos comes up. Tower dive becomes rather easy, and
Ghost ulti and Seraph's out.
it's the way to get out, I guess. So,
Yeah.
more damage on this top side, and a lot of focus here. Meteos knew Proxen was bottom, so
Well, yeah, with how bad that duo down there was going, you might as well focus the other side of the map. And Impact going to be one of the primary reasons that C9 wins, if they do, because everyone else behind in gold right now. As Lod clears away the wave, and Sneaky just zoned out from all
we hit
the
him.
gold. Q lands into the unfurrow. The Lantern's there, but he's going to get stunned first. No, he's not. He actually gets out. Burns Summoner Heal for a bit of move speed and got to the Lantern just in time.
Bunny Fufu is in a great position and has a great instinct right now of when to throw those Lanterns out, because even when they were in that bottom side, he was playing to the right side, and that's why Sneaky was the one they had to go on, right? When he came over this wall that's right there that we see, had to go on Sneaky, couldn't reach Bunny Fufu, and Bunny Fufu was just playing back, even though they didn't see Proxen come into the jungle on that side. So he's like, oh, they're playing a little bit differently. They're going to be aggressive here. I better get in a position where I can throw the Lantern to Sneaky.
Okay, well, we're seeing the benefits of the various side lane pressure. Oh, okay, Sneaky only died once, but he's down almost 30 CS, down a turret. Similar situation in the top lane.
And Rift Herald trying to be taken right now. Seraph's going to spot it, though.
No attempt yet, but this would honestly be really good for Clouding to have. They've got another 9 minutes to try to get that Rift Herald down. I think they should really try to get that on Impact as a primary objective for them. A significant focus for the squad.
I think that both teams would definitely benefit from it. So whoever gets it gets a large advantage in that top lane.
Yeah. Seraph needs to stay alive. Impact could just kill Seraph with it.
Yeah. But it's always very deadly when a Hecarim TPs into a fight with it fully charged. And
Right,
it just
he gets
gives
that hit.
Extra pop of magic damage.
Right, because the buff only works, in a sense, when you're alone. It charges when you're alone,
Yes.
but then you keep the charge. And so you, as long as you don't auto-attack anything, even if you're in a team fight, that first auto-attack will help.
Yep.
So yeah, Hecarim will have that burst if he makes the teleport play happen. In most cases. It depends if he was in combat before or not. As Jensen clears in the mid lane, gets a small bit of chip onto that little structure there. 108 minions apiece, and look at Jensen's build, very different now. He's no longer going for the tier into Morella and Omicron. He's not dealing with a healer. He's dealing with a physical damage heavy team and rushing his zonies this time around. Into that tier, of course, but different second item. Good adaptation by him. I think it's the right choice.
They're camping this bush. There's 3 members in there. The hook comes out.
Ooh, narrow miss right there.
Just barely as well. Sneaky also had arrow. Maybe could have fished for that as well, but decides not to. Too close.
Yeah.
And this bottom lane is where this large advantage is for Envy. That 1 kill, but also this bottom lane being 30 CS up at the moment.
A lot of Mystic Shots landed right there by Ninja. Finally misses one, but that's after 3 strikes come through, and that means enough poke was done that Envy have an uncontested Mountain Drake. There we go, they get it finally, but nice zoning by Ninja to keep any of C9 from showing up, playing for the ward control. Even though the Rift Scuttle was killed, they had the vision because of that. Nothing went through. Now, Envy failed to win game 1 even when they got the first 2 Drakes last time around, but this time they actually have a gold lead riding those Drakes, and it's going to feel a lot better for them.
Yeah, and they have to kind of stay ahead of the curve right now, and with the double AD carry, that's going to help them kill these turrets when they reach them, and that's what they need to do is start getting their lead even further ahead, because this team can stack armor with the Aurelia after 1 item in the Trinity Force. Impact, I mean, he loves playing tanks, right? So I would not be surprised to see a Warden's Mail come through, Thorn Mail eventually.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think he needs more than just 5 Force for damage, honestly. And he is going Trinity Force, by the way. Standard, of course, for Aurelia. Everyone gets that one, but we'll see what his next option ends up being.
Yeah, Sun Go Bladed Rune King second.
Sure.
Just
I've seen
onto it.
Sterix as well. I've seen Frozen Mallet. All up to him.
We've seen everything at this point.
Aurelia's really built almost everything in the game at this point. I remember way back in the day before everyone thought Aurelia was good. This is like 2011 status. Atlanta, if you remember him from back in the day, was one of the innovators. It was Triforce and Q max. I think you'd actually build like a crit build. You just one-shot people because Q would do like 400 damage with a Trinity Force, and you would just reset on everything.
Yeah, you actually, in the mid lane Aurelia build, you would max Q first. And it would have an incredibly low cooldown, so even if you used it in a team fight when you were level 9, it's like, seriously, like a 3-second cooldown, even if you just used it for hitting somebody and not killing him.
Oh, either way, we're going to move on to the other champions of this one, as Seraph is going Trinity Force on the
Way
Hecarim.
behind, though.
And maxing Q, then maxing E, which is kind of the normal build. Seraph, by the way, did max E10 style first, and then the Equilibrium strike second. We've actually seen Q max second as well. I believe Hooney's done that before.
Yeah.
So it's W, then E for the Aurelia this time around.
A little different for Impact.
Yeah, Jensen doing the standard E into Q. No big surprise there. The other question is if
Checking everyone.
maxes hook or play, and it is going to be the hook that ends for him. There are a few where you have options, right? And you actually might do different things out there. Those are the main ones.
Proxen goes with the competitive Rek'Sai, which is max
Unburrow
Q,
second.
then max W.
Yeah.
Where if you're solo Q Rek'Sai, you'll max E second, just because you like damage.
Yeah. But the cooldown on when you can re-unburrow on someone for the knockup goes down with W rank, so.
But the cooldown on
season.
when you can take a tunnel goes down with E rank.
Interesting.
So it's a big trade-off.
Yeah. In addition, of course, to the E damage. W damage goes up as well, of course.
Yeah.
Just not as hard as E does. And we are into this one as Envy have made the rotation to the top side of the map. They are still sitting on this 1,300 gold lead and now looking at knocking out a turret to jump that 2,000. C9, some resource in the bot lane, some in the mid as well. And we expect to see Sneaky and Bunny Fufu trade that bottom outer turret. So not really a huge gain by Envy.
Yeah, if Ninja stays alive, though, then it's a larger advantage for Envy. You see him playing to the side. Meteos has buff.
Depends on the turret damage, though. So we knew the outer turrets would
Tier
trade
2's
top
gonna
and
go down.
bottom side. Yeah. And mid outer will go down, but that's being traded for top lane tier 2, which gold value is actually the same. They're 800 apiece, but this is a harder turret to kill. So Envy, generally speaking, got a more difficult turret. They can probably knock down mid outer another time and feel pretty good about that one.
Might even get Rift Herald right now from Seraph on the way out. Like
There.
that would honestly be like the ultimate prize here.
That would actually be really nice. No dragons to take right now, which means there's no mirrored objective for Cloud9 to get, and that means that, yes, it will be a trade of 2 turrets apiece. Again, the gold being close to equal. A trade of 2 lanes of farm apiece, as Ezreal got some, as Ninja did that. But yes, an unanswered Rift Herald goes to Team Envy, and we think it'll go to Seraph, and it will.
So that'll give him a little bit of leeway in this matchup that hasn't been going too well for him. He's pretty far behind on the Trinity Force right now. He's down 600 gold behind Impact. And looking at how they actually started the game off, it's like he's still got his Doran shield hanging onto it, whereas Impact, he had that Corrupting Potion and Corrupting Potion as well. So that's where Seraph ended up sinking some of his gold. I'm like, he should actually be closer. It's like Seraph has both the shield and the Corrupting Potion, so sank a little more gold into that, and that's what's delaying his Trinity Force.
And 900 gold spent on those various pieces. And we'll see if that means anything more later on. Lod sadly dancing on a ward, giving a show to his opponents. Look how fast I can rotate. He's like a ballet dancer.
He has to know, right? I mean,
You know what's weird? It's like he holds his gun so far out. Like you have to put in so much force to turn yourself around. Like what's the word I'm looking for? There's a physics term for like what it means when you have a bunch of mass
force?
outside. Kind of, I guess. But like
that's when like you have water in a bucket
So-
and you spin it around and the
right.
water doesn't come out.
Well, that's a different thing, right? What I'm going for is like, you know when you ever watch figure skating and
No.
when they, okay, I have some. I watch the Olympics occasionally. When you pull your arms in, you spin faster.
Yes.
Right? So basically, Lod has to
creating
put
drag?
in more, well, no, I mean like literally the amount of force, the angular momentum, I'm missing all the terms.
Centrifuge?
We're going to move on because Impact's fighting Sarah. But basically, Lod's arms are so far out, it takes him more effort to turn around than if you tuck them in.
We did it. We did it.
That's all I had to say in the first place. I tried to explain it.
We
was
did it!
miserable.
And he
Oh!
didn't.
3 points.
So great story.
Continue.
I remember when Dom saw 2 arrows go by and he was like, 2 field goals? That's 4 points. And then somebody was trying to defend him and it's like, yeah, he means basketball.
Yeah.
It's like, technically true,
Yeah.
but not the field goal everybody talks about.
Usually not. Sports ball. What does it mean?
We can't talk about sports ball on broadcast.
I can.
It always
Spoiler alert,
gets
the
a
Cavs
problem.
won.
Oh, who?
Spoiler from a week ago.
Poor Steph. Anyway.
Yep. Well, turret taking a poke from the minions. We get back into this one. The gold remains at plus 1,300 for Envy. But now they have the Rift Herald on Seraph, which will be nice for them to keep that top lane matchup afloat. Once again, looking at the exact same Drakes as the previous game, by the way. Mountain into Cloud both times.
And the next is Ocean.
Okay, so none of the in-combat ones here.
No Infernal in this
He's gonna
entire
land
game,
the
but there they
Hakuho.
go.
He's gonna go for a lot of damage here. Finally pops the ulti, but no one gets tagged by it. But now on Impact they go. This poor Aurelia has nothing to do. Seraph
Jensen.
claims the kill. And
He's
now
got
they go
ulti, he's
right
got
into this
ulti.
one. Oh, a big stun on the Seraph. They take down the Hecarim. Crumbles down a 1-for-1.
absolutely huge that Jensen got that ultimate off because Seraph had his, he was ready to throw it out, and that would have been in that gigantic cluster of Cloud9, and it would have separated them.
Yeah.
Oh, he hits Lod!
Oh, man, that's when you want to put it through the uprights. Lod goes down, a beautiful hook by Bunny. Sneaky helps out as well. What a nice pickoff.
Yeah, that arrow follow-up as well, and when that hit Lod, that's like, oh, well, I got him. You got the bite on the hook. You take that fish. And that's honestly Cloud9 making the best of a bad situation there, and they come out on top. The Dragon goes over to Envy. They all get inside of the pit. They all have ways to get over the wall. Then Bunny hooks Hakuo. Hakuo's ultimate, not the best. Doesn't hit anybody with the knockup, but it does seal off the entrance of the pit. They kill Impact before he can take the lantern. And then Seraph, he's ready to go through, and the hook
Good
from
layering.
from Bunny,
Yeah.
followed by the ultimate there from Jensen. So Bunny with the initial hook. Credit to him as well. Absolutely huge.
And then this is just insane.
Yeah, this is blind as well, I believe.
So this is lucky then
Yeah.
over anything, but still really nice.
yeah,
They say kill Lod, kill Lod, kill Lod. Okay.
yeah. I believe he was aiming for proxing because he thought he was going to kite backwards while doing the camp. And that's where it's like, oh, well, I got the one I really wanted, and that's when you go. At that point, Bunny is willing to sacrifice his life for the AD carry.
Sure.
No question.
Doesn't even die anyway.
Yeah, it would have been a worth trade, so definitely take that Q.
Well, the difference between skill and luck is the duration it lasts, and if Bunny Fufu lands more hooks like that, at a certain point, he's just that good at League of Legends.
It's kind of like the difference between aggression and stupidity.
Is if it works or not.
Exactly.
Not always true. Just if you're dictated by results. And Lod! Oh, actually, it was Ninja. Sorry, a different AD carry. But Lod gets a kill on Jensen, so I can still say his name.
Yeah.
Mid lane picked off. That, I believe, was a Hakumo pickoff. I was watching the arrow, not the other Freljord.
Yeah, Seraph comes just rushing through with the ultimate and
That's what it
flippity
was.
clops him in the face. And that's going to be 2 turrets.
Clippity clop. He got bopped, and uh-oh. Proxim's stun up. Doesn't matter. Turret goes down. Envy, look at that. Taking some easy ones off a great pickoff onto Jensen's Cassiopeia. And look at this. Envy really trying to make it go to a game 3, and that seems likely.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the builds here because you're expecting a lot of armor to come through for the side of Cloud9. Well, Cassiopeia, really the only armor he's able to get is that Seeker's Arm Guard.
Oh,
yeah,
and he basically
boom, boom.
vandalized the retreat, too.
Yep. Ends up picking him off there. Jensen, no flash available either, so didn't really have a way out of that. Cut off the retreat. And yeah, we have Seeker's Arm Guards here. You see Meteos kind of working towards Rylai's / Zanya's, just picking up the Seekers for armor. And then Impact, Sunfire Cape. It looks like it's going to be his second item, which
Okay.
one of the less defensive armor items.
Yeah.
It's more of that wave clear, stand in the wave and clear it out, as opposed to like a Warden's Mail, a Thorn Mail.
Yeah.
Even like a Dead Man's Plate because it has a slow on it.
It is a little strange to me. I mean, it's probably at this stage a bit more stats than the Frozen Heart might give you, just because health is valuable when you're facing this much armor shred, thanks to the Black Cleaver, but...
Bunny Fufu's probably getting the Frozen Heart. It's going to take him a long time, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd still rather see Frozen Heart on Aurelia, honestly. CDR is a great stat on her. W uptime's a big deal. Right, the cooldown takes as soon as you press W, so the uptime actually goes substantially more than 20% when that happens. But it's the choice they're making, and I guess we'll have to respect it for now.
For now. When they lose, you get to criticize it, right?
Yeah.
If they win, you lose right all along.
Well, that's, I mean, survivorship
I'm
bias
joking.
is nice. No, I know. Yeah, survivorship bias is a real thing, and you should not analyze things based on whether you won or lost.
Yep. Absolutely. That
It's
happens
like-
all the time with new builds. I mean, I won a game with top lane Sejuani. It's like, nope, it's probably not good.
Hey, Mr. Oink would disagree with you. That man
Do you
makes
just-
Sejuani look good all the time.
Do you know, like, everybody, like, if I said, like, a random champion top, it would have been like, hey, this guy, the Grom top.
Heisendong, the Heimerdinger maker?
Oh, yeah, Heisendong.
I don't know all of them. I just know Mr. Oink because he was actually in my Evo for a while, so I actually played with him a few times.
So obviously,
He's not anymore. He's better than me. But
it doesn't
you know.
work? Oh.
No. I'm still in the lower half of Diamond. Most people just pass me by over time. Every year, I'm in a lower and lower percentage of the league player base.
Everybody's getting better, you're getting worse?
Yeah, even you passed me eventually.
Oh.
Because when you first joined Riot,
Then I got
was
worse.
like, I was like 2 divisions above you. Now you're 2 above me.
Yeah, hold up, though.
Oop.
Lod's just farming a side wave, so that's really what's going on here, I guess. Holding off for that, and they're going to send Impact to the bottom side. And they do this a lot with Lod. They put him on the side wave. He gets to pick up the farm, but he's the one that doesn't have teleport, and it leaves Envy in a position where they can actually be taken advantage of here. Whereas you can see Cloud9, they put their teleport user, pretty standard play, off on the side.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out right now because it's looking like Envy wants to get in on this one. They won't quite find a play as Cloud9 runs to get off to the side. Seraph stunned up for a little bit longer. Here comes the teleport in for impact. Another arrow lands onto Proxen, buying some time. That's a kill off the Hakuho. And look at the chase coming in. Proxen will burn down. No, he will not. The volley gets him though, and Sneaky gets a slow and a Ninja as well. Can he get any more? A little bit of slow, but it looks like a temp
Baron.
for Baron, yeah.
Yeah, because they killed the jungler. Proxen's down for 30 seconds. That's going to be a turn on to Baron here for Cloud9. And Cloud9, that hook, I believe that was a hook again from Bunny Fufu to start that off. We'll have to take another look at it because they can just layer the CC over and over again. Hook, Cocoon, Tooth KHP on it. Seraph's going to try to go in.
Attempt for the steal, not going to happen. Grace might in by Meteos, and now the battle comes through. Seraph into the pit. They've got so much damage output to give. And it's Jensen going down a trade field, though, into Impact. Lod gets one, but he is very alone right now, waiting for the cooldown. Jumps over the wall. 2 kills picked up for Envy, 2 lost for them as well. 3 members with Baron.
We're going to take another look at that. It was the Cocoon, followed by the hook. So the one that started off, followed by the ultimate from Cassiopeia. And Hakuo is trying to get out. He can't. And Seraph hits incredibly low because Hakuo is just trying to save him. And then Seraph goes, oh wait, I should probably block that. But no. Turns around. Proxen ends up getting picked up. And Envy will once again pick up their 3rd dragon with the Ocean Drake. So it'll be a little bit helpful for them.
Yeah. We're really not playing Poke Wars, so at this point, Ocean's really one of the least impactful.
Yeah. But there we go, though. Speaking of impact, we do have the Frozen Heart started up by him.
There we go. That's a nice one. And actually, interestingly, Bunny Fufu doing an early Ruby Sightstone will give him more Face the Mountain Shield, which is nice.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. I want to say something real quick before the next fight starts on Infernal Drake, because I know everyone loves Infernal Drake. Gives him all these stats, feels so good. Keep in mind how little attack damage or ability power Proxen, Seraph, and Akko actually have. The actual gain on that Drake only actually affects 2 people on that team in any like really significant way, right? Okay, Seraph has some AD, right? But like 6 AD in Akko means nothing, whereas Cloud Drake actually affects him. Gets in a range of things. Proxen, really not going to care about that 6 AD very much.
Yeah, I feel that same way when I get in the Kindred or something. It doesn't really help you too much.
Yeah, Kindred actually has really low AD ratios, which is actually attack speed based. So even though conceptually everyone loves attack damage and ability power, half of every team comp doesn't benefit from Infernal Drake. Whereas everyone benefits from Cloud. Which is why people seem to like it more, and they're equally good. I can't go cast without talking about math and Cloud Drakes. It's just, that's how it works.
It's a thing now.
It's a thing. If Jet were here, he'd back me up. You're just kind of groaning and sad that I'm doing this?
I cannot wait until you and Deficio cast something together.
Oh, man.
Because
I can't wait for Worlds.
He's the perennial hater of Cloud Drake.
I hope Cloud Drake takes no changes and Deficio and I duo cast every game of Worlds. And we won't even talk about the games. It won't even matter. It'll be like the grand final, or like, you know, game 5, SKT versus CLG. It's my fantasy, shut up. Actually, wait, that was just MSI. I was just trolling you guys.
Oh my god.
Sorry, no, the final, Fnatic versus TSM, that's better, right? We can all cheer for that one? I don't know.
0 cheers.
Yeah, no one cared. All right, I'm sorry.
teams, right?
I'm ruining everything. I'm really apologizing here. But Cloud9 have got back into this game. The gold is tied. The Rift Hero buff ending fairly soon off of Seraph. And, well, they don't have any Drake buffs. It doesn't seem to matter as Cloud9 are playing the controlled game.
Yeah.
Looking for bot lane.
Yeah, there's a couple minutes left on that, like you said, the Rift Herald. But they're trying to defend these turrets, but it's kind of those half-hearted defense.
Uh-oh,
Now they
Impact,
found
though,
the-
really
now they gotta
getting
go.
locked up. Arrow hits Seraph, but he still comes through. It's going to be a trade of top laners. No, Jensen's staying alive just barely. It's only the 1 kill picked up. Seraph got out with his life, and a flash Q hits Sneaky. They're going to chase for that one. He's going to pick one off, though, and look at the re-engage on a Ninja. Ezreal way too far up. 2 more kills for Cloud9. Now it's Proxen hooked in again by Bunny Fufu. That's 3 dead members. Oh, that was a 4v5 that Cloud9 navigated.
And Bunny Fufu, once again, hook after hook after hook. This guy is an absolute madman on Thresh. Baron buff is gone, but Jensen and Bunny Fufu have been playing absolutely incredibly well this entire series, and so is Meteos. The pick that they have in these team fights, it becomes a hard to execute comp in the thick of everything. but they're hitting these AD carries. They're picking up these kills. Lod getting caught at the Wolves. Right here, this kill onto Ninja, absolutely huge to turn it around. Jensen overstays a little. His team could finish the turret off. He goes for it. Seraph goes for the backline. And you see right there, the hook was actually on Seraph, and he can't be disabled during his charge, so Bunny Fufu takes it all the way. Hooks Ninja as he comes around the corner, and then the ultimate from Jensen to lock him up. Absolutely insane.
Wow, so Ninja going for
And
the
again.
flank play. Yeah. Bunny landing several of these hooks right now.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta stop slow-moing those, or else it's gonna take us 5 minutes for these replays, because they keep landing over and over again.
Bunny's got 35 cooldown reduction in his build. He's getting those hooks on a very rapid cooldown.
It looks like they might go double Frozen Heart as well.
7.8 second base cooldown, reduced by 3 if the hook lands. So a sub 5 second between hooks if they hit. Several in a team fight. Great by Bunny Fufu to catch these people out. One of the main reasons that they are winning.
And he's Thunderlords as well, so you know he's gonna have 45% cooldown reduction eventually.
Oh yeah, you're right. He needs one more item to get that to happen.
His
When he
build.
finishes Frozen Heart, that's the item for it. That's going to be insane. So 3,000 gold lead now for Cloud9. A comeback victory in the making here for these guys. As Envy hopes to make something happen, but the problem is there's so much armor coming through in this lineup now that C9 aren't really going to run out of health too easily. Little Cocoon, a little bit of poke on a Hakuho. Back they go. Easy wave clear. And Impact once again sent down to the bottom side of the map. Now plenty of armor on him. His actual stats, 254 with 2,500 HP.
And it becomes very hard to kill these guys. You're talking about the armor that they're stacking, like Impact with the Frozen Heart. But even getting in on Jensen, we saw the enormous shield that he got from both Bunny Fufu and his own Seraph's Embrace. And then he has Zanya's on top of it, and there's the Zanya's on Meteos. So really, the only person that you could really get on and be like, okay, they're going to die very quickly is Sneaky. That's the only person, but honestly, he's probably one of the lower damage dealers in comparison to Jensen.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing, is Jensen is the damage output here, and he's doing pretty famously. The Void Staff done as Cassiopeia has got to feel good. You can see that gold graph, and you saw that Envy for 10 minutes straight were unable to push that lead up anymore.
Yep.
They simply traded objectives against Cloud9.
Mountain Drake as well, though, coming up.
Okay, well that's going to mean faster Barons for whichever team can pick that one up. Envy getting a second one is a significant damage buff.
Yeah, and Baron's pretty much going to come up 10 seconds afterwards. So Impact looks like he's going to try to solo the Dragon, solo the Drake. He's on it already. And the rest of Cloud9 are actually going to posture towards that Baron. So Impact's going to be the one sneaking it at the moment.
And he's going to get that one easily. Without
Can't
taking
take
the
nothing.
Dragon, Cena actually kills these things very quickly.
Yep, very slow attack speed for the Mountain Drake. 1.0, I believe.
Yeah.
Or actually,
Drake is the tankiest of all of them.
0.25.
Yeah.
So it attacks once every 4 seconds.
Yes, it does. But once again, it was enough. The quick move over by Cassiopeia, and that is now a Mountain Drake picked up by Cloud9. A nice one to have at this stage of the game. Fortunate for them as they look to move forward. Lots of completed items on the whole roster. 2 Zonias on their 2 mages. And Envy, once again, are in a situation where they're not good at playing from behind in this composition. At least they've got CC. Seraph can go for the big plays, but
Yep, he's got
half
the
of that
aim.
team has stacked armor or has his Zonias.
And that's
Really
another,
sneaky. He's an easy one.
another fault of the composition. Last game, they had a comp that when they started to get behind, they really didn't have a way back in.
Yeah.
And this is another one that has almost the same problem. When you start getting behind and your opponents can actually prioritize armor
One damage side.
and
Yeah.
get a little bit on top of that, I mean, you have to think that this would happen if you got to this point in the game. I mean, Envy play
Yeah.
long games anyway.
I don't think I've ever had a champ select where I was like, wait, did they misclick? When a champion got locked in. And I was like, oh, did Lod want to play Ezreal? It's like, no, Ninja went full AD. Like, why? And you're kind of seeing the punishment here. And look, if they got ahead, they could have snowballed past the Aurelia. And they had that early gold lead, but you saw that graph a minute ago where, yeah, they were up a good 2,000 gold. And then it stayed that way till 25 minutes in when they lost a team fight because Sunfire Cape and a Frozen Heart got completed.
Nope.
Arrows
Arrow.
about to go out, not going to land on anybody. Was a missed cooldown there for Sneaky. 30 minutes of back and forth and back and forth. Cloud9 playing the Baron bait game now, looking to clear the wards away. The bottom inhibitor is back up from before when C9 pushed it out. 2,000 gold difference. Not massive, just Envy are behind. The Drakes they have not really going to make up for that easily because they're still compositionally weaker.
But it's only a 2,000 gold advantage, but it's going to lie to you a little bit here.
Right.
One, it's Cassiopeia.
Yeah.
So that gold has not been spent on boots, which of course does have some penetration on it, but still. And then even on top of that, they just don't have to buy a mixture of resistances. It feels actually really great when you can buy just one type of resistance.
Look, now Impact gets to buy a Randuin's Omen
Yeah.
and just be unkillable. It's rough stuff, honestly. Meteos can go towards what's probably a Void Staff, I would guess. I can't imagine he wants to go Abyssal. Actually, I don't think he could anyway. I don't think it builds out of that item anymore. I forget. I think it does. I forget. No, it couldn't, because Fiendish Codex is 30 AP. Fiendish Codex in another book, I think.
A null and an amp.
Yeah. A Negatron and an Amp Tome and a Fiendish Codex.
Null into Nega into, yep,
Yep, that's correct.
the Negatron cloak.
Yes. Well, more ability power coming in for Jensen. Probably a death cap, we'd assume. Not making a defensive route towards, like, maybe getting a Randuin's, which would be, I mean, a little bit overly defensive, or a GA, but going for more damage, make sure you can cut through everybody really quickly. You can see Seraph having to split his defenses. Actually has no huge armor items. Like, Guardian Angel is mixed.
He's got some armor pen too, so
Going towards Ma, I assume. Pushing it back. Ooh, nearly lands up on a ninja. And Arrow's going to actually hit Hakuho, but he's Braum. He's probably the best suited for tanking those spells. And Cloud9 have been unable to execute the Baron bait. They've just been delaying for several minutes. Now that C9 can't scale up, I think it's okay to wait a bit longer for them, but still failing to execute on their advantage is not the most heartening.
yeah, that bottom wave is going to continue to shove out towards Cloud9, so Envy have a large wave down there. Their inhibitor is back up, so they can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief here. But Impact, he might go back to splitting duty.
And he's got to be able to beat Seraph up pretty easily, who's stacked a lot more magic resist. Seraph has 152 MR. Impact does not care about almost any of that. All that gold down the drain meaning nothing. You imagine Impact would win that matchup pretty easily face to face.
Especially since the Rift Herald buff is now gone off of Seraph.
Yeah, that's despawned by now. Ezreal ult comes across the bow, spots out what's going on, but C9 have removed wards once again. Arrow is back up from cooldown, so maybe we'll see C9 go for the play once again. Looking for the opening, actually. Seraph going in on a Meteos, a bit isolated, jumps over with the Lantern. Hakuho goes in on an Impact, can't quite fight it. Now comes
Jensen.
the assassination attempt, and Jensen feared up, flashing away, pops a bit of damage. Then the Zonias comes out, and now Seraph. Guardian Angel pop, gonna revive. Bramblety across the back line. Do they have the damage? Meteos repels into the air. Impact left alone. A kill coming through for Sneaky. Make that two. He's keeping his team alive. A quadra kill for Sneaky. The pentakill to save the game. Huge lead for Cloud9.
And Cloud9 might take a 2-0 here. They have the power to push down this mid lane, and Sneaky completely ignored in that fight. Everybody's going after Jensen and then trying to pick up the mages desperately, and he gets ignored, and he gets a pentakill.
Plays it beautifully, kiting out all the damage, getting away with it. C9 doing the same thing with the rest of them. And this could be at least an inhibitor. The timing is tight to go for the next, but they are trying.
I think you push for it here. 9, 1, and 6 for Sneaky. Does enough damage when these minions show up. Force it down, tank it.
Mountain Drake certainly helps. Turret number 1 is gone. Turret number 2 now in their sights. Hakuho alive, gets arrowed up, stunned up, can't join the fight just yet, and there it goes. Nexus down. 2-0 Cloud9 to take over Envy's place at number 3.
A decisive fight there at the end. It's a shame we didn't get to see it again immediately because that was absolutely all over the place. Jensen almost goes down, but then you see how hard it was for Envy to get through the armor of Cloud9. And Cloud9 walk away with a win for Bunny and a win for Sneaky, or win for Smoothie, and the debate continues.
Yeah.
Because they are dedicated to swapping them back and forth.
Smoothie was the better laner, but there were some game-winning hooks out there for Bunny Fufu. Honestly, he's a front runner, I think, alongside Sneaky for player of the game in this one. And I want to just really highlight what Sneaky did on this Ashe, though, because in game 1, he was playing Ashe, and Jensen was on Cassiopeia. He was the same champions, and in game 1, by the way, Jensen doubled Sneaky's damage. In this game, Sneaky doubled Jensen's damage. 28,000, highest in the game by a lot. Pentakill in the game-winning team fight. Great Ashe game.
Which is hilarious, because I remember we were in the middle of the game, and I'm like, yeah, Jensen's the gigantic damage dealer. But honestly sneaky on the back line, completely ignored. They started stacking magic resistance. You were talking about Seraph, Spirit Visage, right? He's stacking magic resistance. He's going just because he's thinking, okay, Cassio's going to do a lot of damage. Really sneaky, living up to his name in that game.
Yeah, deceptively the big carry actually overall. Beautiful play by him. 100% kill participation, by the way, 9, 1, and 6 of his team's 15 kills. Great by him. You had 14 out of the 15 from Bunny Fufu as well. 14 out of 15 from Jensen. Really just a great game by Cloud9. A great series by them as well.
Yeah, 100%.
This time a comeback
sneaky.
win. Yeah. Victory music, definitely nice. Smiles on their faces. Again, a solid 2-0 by them. Their second 2-0 has now been Envy and CLG as the teams have been able to take without losing a game. Talking about Team Envy, though, this was not nearly as close as their Immortals game. Envy has yet to beat a top 4 team. They lost to Immortals last week. We said, okay, but it was close. That's fine. We'll give you a pass. Cloud9, here's your next test. Well, somewhat close games in some respects. Like game 1 took a while to break. Game 2, they're actually winning, but not that same level of close, honestly. And you know, Envy maybe are only a number 4 team right now.
Yeah, and I do have to throw in another thing in there, though, because they have TSM tomorrow, and this is a little bit of a trap game for them. I know that they do focus on Cloud9 because, you know, Seraph has tunneled on that Impact matchup and really respects him. But you have to think that they're really preparing for that TSM matchup and thinking, you know, that's the one we have to take down. And so a lot of their time is probably focused on that one, not so much the Cloud9 one, but it definitely took them by surprise here.
You can argue it, yeah.
And their drafts didn't look as convincing as they could have been.
They didn't.
And there's a couple of questions to be said there about Envy's drafting, which historically has been actually rather good throughout the the split.
Yeah, typically we like their team compositions, but you're right. There are some very glaring flaws once you got 30 minutes in both these games in this match, and that was one of the things that I think got abused. Game 1, I think, was less about, oh, our comp can't win from behind. It was just Cloud9 really snowballing, and I mean, a deathless game means you smashed your opponents, honestly. So I take some of what I said back about sort of game 1 being kind of close. I think it was a C9 lead the whole time through, but
we forget sometimes.
Yeah, it just, you know, sometimes because game 2 looked so good, and we mentioned Envy play slow sometimes. Yeah. They play slow when they're behind. They play slow when they're ahead. The fact that, and it's a complaint we've actually had about Cloud9 as well. When you have a lead 10 minutes in, and it's a sizable one, right? Like 2,000-3,000, and it doesn't go anywhere. That's a huge issue because you should be able to wedge yourself in and say, no, you don't get to fight for this. Okay, they got 2 uncontested dragons. Okay, that's nice, but if those aren't helping you win actual team fights, what does it even matter? And that was kind of the rough stuff, is they took some neutral buffs that weren't immediate goal, but they were game state changing. Okay, we get Cloud Drake, we get Mountain Drake, we get Rift Herald, and then even that didn't do anything. Right? So even with these buffs they're picking up, they're still not going the goal lead afterwards. Cloud9 trading objectives completely cleanly, and then just outscaling the whole time. I do want to see more out of Envy here. They're a solid team, but they're clearly not the best.
Yeah, and that's how Envy have been playing, though, right? They're playing side wave control, and then they do that when they're losing. And then when they're winning, they're like, okay, let's keep doing that until we find the perfect fight. So they don't grow their lead.
Which
they
go
back and forth, right? And then they try for one fight.
And one fight got won by them. The rest got won by C9. Of course, great play by the Cloud9 members to do so. You know, a good win by them, a 2-0, still very solid, and props to Cloud9 for that one. But now, for a player perspective on that C9 match, let's check in with Dom, who's side stage with the mayor of Hook City.
Thanks, guys. I am joined with Bunny Fufu. Congratulations on the win. How does it feel to get that quick 2-0?
Feels good. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, what makes it feel so good? Was it those awesome hooks you were landing, or?
Yeah, Thresh is always fun to play, so whenever I get the chance to pick him, I'll just take him, and it's fun.
Yeah, actually, I want to ask you a little bit, and I know I said I was going to ask you a couple of questions, but so far you guys have been playing basically the same champions back-to-back. It was the Bard and then the Braum, and what's the idea with that?
All those champs just bring a huge amount of CC, and I really like that aspect in them. I'm sure we've been practicing a lot of, or I guess I shouldn't say too much, but we have a good champ pool going forward, so it's not all we can play, I guess.
All right, well, we're looking forward to seeing more of that. How does it feel to be in basically the top 3 teams in the league once again with pretty convincing performance?
Feels good, but moving into playoffs, it's all what matters basically, and we're definitely gunning for top 2.
Yeah, well, you've got Immortals and TSM to take out. Which of the 2 you think is going to be the first to fall?
They're both really strong, so we'll just have to see how the split progresses, I guess.
Yeah, we certainly will. Bunny Fufu, again, congratulations on the quick 2-0. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to go ahead and send it over to the analyst to break that series down.
Thank you very much, Dom. Good to hear from the mayor of Hook City. Quite possibly the only resident of Hook City as well.
No one else playing Thresh, really.
No one else is playing Thresh, but Bunny Fufu is playing it well enough that nobody else needs to play it. We're getting our Thresh fill from his performance in games like this.
I don't want to see a worse Thresh. I just want to see Bunny's Thresh. If everyone played Thresh like Bunny, then sure, there can be more residents of Hook City. But for now, keep it for Bunny.
Cloud9 picking up a sweet 2-0 victory over Envy. And I have to reiterate, at the beginning of the day, we were expecting a much closer series between these two teams. I mean, Envy had looked pretty hot through the first 3 weeks, you know, only losing to Immortals, but still putting up good games. And here against Cloud9, it seems like they took a little bit of a step back. And I think the first thing that I want to go in on is their champion select, particularly in this game 2. I was not impressed by it.
No, I really don't like the Ezreal pick here. And there were a number of mid lane focused bans, but you and I were looking over like what he's played this season. There were plenty of other options up, especially something like a Victor. I think when you have this comp like a Hecarim, you probably just want, I would think, a standard mid lane mage to hold on, wave clear, so Hecarim can farm up. And then once he's got his items, he can come in for these crazy flanks that are going to, like, you know, confuse a team, and then Victor's there just cleaning up with lasers or something. You think there are better options than Ezreal.
Yeah, they kind of picked themselves into a hole here, not giving themselves a way to wave clear when they're behind, which Victor would have been fantastic for, and also pigeonholing their damage to entirely AD. So even if you were ahead, you're giving the other team a very easy way to counter you, right?
Yeah,
All we have to do
Irelia is like,
build
fine,
armor.
yeah, I'll just build 3 armor items, which is what she was doing.
So questionable draft there that I don't think set them off, you know, necessarily on the right path. Of course, at the beginning of the game, Envy did get out to a small lead by a couple ganks and a couple, you know, 2v2s in the bot lane with TPs. So small advantages here and there, and good dragon control for the early portions of the game. However, not enough. And where things really started to kind of turn around for Cloud9, 24 minutes into the game, 2-for-0 plus Baron, and then follow that up with a 2-for-2 trade on the back end. So it ends up being a total of 4-for-2, but you get the Baron, and this gives C9 just a lot of permission to move around the map the way they want to, Baron up.
Yeah, Meteos hits a nice cocoon there to set up Bunny, who hits the hook, which sets up Jensen to hit the ult, and it's just this big CC chain on Seraph. It happened to him a couple times this game, and then we see Impact come flying in from the side, getting some resets, and Sneak is able to flash in here at the very end to get the volley kill. But it was just a really nice CC chain to start that fight off. There's no chance for Envy to really react. Their front line's just basically dead.
Jungler support dying. Cloud9 did have to blow all of their ultimates, essentially, to pick up those kills. So they're going to go and start the Baron knowing that, of course, Seraph will TP in and contest it. But they managed to burn it down quick enough, and that's the thing. Quick enough to burn it down, and then they just trade the 2-for-2.
Yeah, it's like a scary thing because all the carries are still up, and there's a lot of poke with Ezreal and like Lucian. You have to be careful.
Jensen has a great flash here.
Oh yeah, sick flash to get away from the ultimate. Is able to keep DPSing Seraph down because if he was feared there, you know, Seraph might wreak some havoc. But he's able to get it. But like I was saying, it's a little scary of a situation to go for that Baron, but they burn it down fast enough that they don't need to worry about the Baron damage and the poking, and then you know.
You still have 3 members with Baron, so you're happy to take the gold, the global gold
definitely
that
a
you
good
get
call.
plus the buffs. But that's only one massive play for Cloud9. Another person who was going off is Bunny Fufu. And we have a tweet from Teller Lol who says Bunny Fufu is an absolute god, single-handedly carrying that team fight with that hook on Ninja. Take a look.
Oh, yeah, so this starts off with just a really nice siege. They have that Baron buff that we saw them collect earlier. Impact ends up a little far in front and starts getting this chase down. And
the hook here.
The hook onto Seraph was pretty good. He follows him in, is able to peel for Jensen, gets Seraph low, and then Ninja's also off on the flank, and they're still trying to chase forward. They have this really pokey comp, and then he gets this sick hook on the Ninja, set him up for a kill from Jensen. Oh, actually, Sneaky, no, Meteos picks it up, whatever. Good CC chain, lots of disruption, another hook there.
3 hooks, 3 for 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Thresh is people are a little scared of playing him because you need to have like a really high level of execution to get the same kind of returns on him as others. And Bunny has a high level of execution.
Well, and that's the thing. Thresh is a champion where you're rewarded for your accuracy on your hooks because the cooldown gets halved, right? So if you land the first hook, you get to throw out another one in the fight. And then if you land the second one, that's why he got to throw out 3 in that fight. With the length of that fight, if you were missing them, he wouldn't have actually been able
he's walking in
to throw
circles,
out 3.
waiting.
Clueless, right?
Yeah.
But just an absolute mastery of that champion. I mean, he's been playing it since his debut in the LCS and continues.
I was with him.
Yeah, you were there. And he continues to impress. So, of course, we're going to move 37 minutes into the game and watch this sneaky pentakill. You know, again, set up by the team. But just fantastic to see the performance out of Sneaky on Ashe. Almost great positioning, but in a sense, from the protection that the team is providing him, pretty easy.
There's not much focus on him, but he does play this very aggressively. Watch Sneaky here actually start walking forward. So there's 3 people over there. He has a nice front line kind of, but then he ends up in the furthest front, and he's still autoing, which is something a lot of people wouldn't do. And then he turns on to Hakuho here, still autoing. You know, Meteos propels. They're able to trade their front line extremely well, where everyone's low. Impact's low, Elisa's low, Jensen's low, and at the whole time, Sneaky's just attacking. He's able to get the pentakill.
You want to hear a fun stat?
What's that?
Sneaky did 11,000 damage in that fight.
So
11,000
Didn't they say
damage to
2,700 for the game, right?
Yeah.
So he had almost half in,
27,000,
in that fight.
That's insane. I mean, when you consider that he essentially did all the damage, because Jensen had to flash out, so he actually didn't get to put that much damage down. Almost everyone's health bar was entirely depleted by Sneaky in that fight, because Impact was also engaged on and trying to retreat.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They're all low there. Like, it's just Sneaky playing almost frontline Ashe, just hitting people as they come in, and they try and focus all these other people.
Man, that's a good feeling as an AD carry, I gotta tell you. But we're moving to player of the game, and it's gonna go to Bunny Fufu, because it was because of him that everyone got off the ground. It was the accuracy on that hooks that really impressed us. Obviously, kill participation, 93%. That's fantastic to see out of a support.
And it wasn't just those hooks that we showed. There were other ones too. There was a dragon fight that, you know, C9 was losing, and he hits a hook on Seraph before he can drop his ult, which leads to a chain CC, and then he gets another cleanup kill near the wolf camp. It was just a ton of hooks. There's more in that game if you know you want to go back and rewatch some of them, because he was on point. So definitely deserving.
You know, I love that we see this performance out of him immediately following the segment, where we were kind of praising Smoothie just a little bit more, saying they're both very competent support players, but it seems from the evidence that we've seen so far, the split, that we'd put Smoothie maybe a small step ahead of Bunny, and then Bunny Fufu comes in
Makes
and
me eat my words.
Shuts us up.
Yeah,
right?
I'm like, all right, you can, if you're playing Thresh and you're in standard lanes, Bunny's gonna make some plays.
Right, but again, it's very good to see a team that's using the subs effectively, especially against another top-tier team. It's not just something they're using against the teams that they expect to beat. They're looking to employ this strategy across the board. Well, we've completed one series here on NALCS 2, or NALCS 1 rather, but there's more league action coming up right after this with Immortals versus Liquid. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Envy could make this a win and have their 6th match here in the North American LCS.
Oh shit, what up?
It's that boy.
Here come that boy.
Hit that boy.
He's gonna jump away, forces the flash. Oh, that hook was sick though! On to Lod, can they kill him? The answer is yes!
Wait, right here. I'm looking for Rek'Sai. I'm going.
Lucian, nice. Lexi, no flash.
Runs to get off to the side. Seraph stunned up for a little bit longer. Here comes the teleport in for Impact. Another arrow lands onto Proxen, buying some time. That's a kill off the Hakuho. And a flash Q hits Sneaky. They're gonna chase for that one. He's gonna pick one off though. And look at the re-engage on a Ninja Ezreal. Way too far up. 2 more kills for Cloud9. Now it's Proxen hooked in again by Bunny Fufu.
This guy is an absolute madman on Thresh.
Damage.
They're all dead.
Penta.
Got it.
Nice.
2-0 Cloud9 to take over Envy's place at number 3.